Hello, friends. How y'all doing? What it do? What it is? It's your boy, Mr. Bell, aka Captain Hater, aka can't say your name up on the spot. Might not put you to mob, but it's the end of the year. Welcome to the year in review podcast. Hold up and another thing presented by Mixed Vibez Media. You know what I'm saying? Mr. I got some guests with me. First off, man, Mr. Break Glasses himself. What's up, Will?
What's going on, man? Glad to be here. Another year.
Yeah, appreciate you. And tradition. She was gonna be here. Man, actually, you done did what? Three? You done three of my last six podcasts.
Hey, you keep calling me back. I'm gonna keep coming. I mean, I feel like I'm adding value to the pod, so I appreciate you inviting me back, though.
You are. I greatly appreciate y'all coming through. This year has, to me, the year went by fast. What do y'all think? What you think?
Yeah, it's been a pretty quick year. So much stuff happened that it's not even like you measuring it in months no more. It's event to event, you know. Yeah. So it's been fast. It ain't like it was before when it was waiting for January and February and you keeping track every month. Nah, it's this happened, that happens. You get a fight in Alabama on the boat dock, and the next thing you know, we on to the next event, and we ain't even doing by months no more. It's all events.
Man, you know what? Since you said it, let's start there with the boat fight. What was your reaction when you seen all of that transpire?
Well, at first, right? At first, you like, dang, like it went down like that. You kind of in shock a little bit. You don't want to encourage violence or anything, but then when you kind of start to unravel the story, you kind of like, well, they was defending themselves. They was defending themselves, and then people came together as a community to represent. I mean, that's the best way I can put it. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm condoning violence, but a community came together to defend a situation and defend people of their community, and that's the best way I can put it.
Right. Yeah, in no way are you condoning violence. What you're doing is you're just saying, "Hey, I would like to see the unity." And that's what it was. Just coming together to defend each other, especially in a situation where you can think in the past, well, we might not have been able to do that. So yeah, that was big. That was huge. That was inspiring almost. It was like, man, we can look out for each other. Sometimes it don't feel that way.
That is true. That is definitely true. To me, besides us standing together, it was the man swimming across the ocean or the river or whatever it was to get in the melee.
That was brilliant.
That's what did it for me. Once I see him, then he hopped out, took a deep breath, and then got right to it. Yeah. That is the
he got himself together. Literally, he had to gather himself.
Yeah. Talk about staying ready.
Talking about staying in shape. Like you gotta swim and then go and get in a physical altercation. That's a different level of commitment to the body and getting yourself together. So I don't even remember when that happened. That was summertime.
August. I think it was August.
Yeah, it was August. So let's go. I think this was around August too. Let's talk about your former president. The former president also got arrested down in Atlanta, down in Georgia, for the crimes that he committed, and now some states are not even allowing him on the docket. Donald Trump got arrested. Would y'all ever imagine a president getting arrested?
Nah,
that's not how it should go. By any means, that's not how it should go.
I never imagined it, but I guess once he became president, it kind of shocked me so much that I thought anything was possible.
Well, that's the point taken. Point taken there.
You know what? You're right. Once he became president, it became a reality show, and he was a constant reality show. So I'm trying to word this without. I don't want to ask you what's your thoughts on Donald Trump, but let me ask you going forward, if Donald Trump was to run again and find a way and to win, even though some states are not allowing him on the docket, do you think he got a chance to win?
Man, I hate to say this, but anything is possible. Anything is possible. I mean, a year ago, I wouldn't have thought people were trying to take over the Capitol, but they did it. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to say no, but my honest answer is anything is possible. I don't know that I would be surprised if he did. Somehow win, because people are still rooting for him. Still. And this is years later with all the craziness and nonsense that has taken place with him being charged, all that stuff. I mean, he still has people rooting for him. I'm not saying he can't be beat, though. I'm just saying that, anything is possible at this point as it relates to him.
I don't know, man. I think that definitely he can win again. These people are still loyal. They still believe in him through all the charges brought against him and everything like that. He tends to flip that on his head and make it seem like he's the victim and everything. So I think he can win again. And I don't know if Biden can beat him. I don't know if he can put up a good fight, That's where my problem lies. I don't know. Of course, I'm going to vote against him. Who's there? They're getting my vote. But I'm not sure if enough people feel like me.
See, my problem with the Trump situation is like you said is, if I don't really know if anybody else could beat him besides Biden. And I don't think Biden really wants to be president again. I think he's really just running because he sees Trump on the other side, and he knows, and the party knows, that nobody else can beat Trump. There's nobody else that has enough power in the Democratic, community at this current time to beat Trump. Their only hope is Trump, enough states, Supreme Courts don't allow him on the docket. Don't allow him on the ballot.
So so you ain't even coming up with a good battle plan at that point, though. You just coming up with some hope. That don't seem like you're really trying to win. It's like, I was hope on the wish. I'm gotta pay this rent this month, but you know what? If I get these scratch offs, I'm just gonna hope that they hit. So nah, you ain't got nowhere to live, bro. Like that ain't no way to win. We can't go on that. We need somebody else. I mean, let's be honest. Would y'all be against another candidate, like some third party, like independent?
I mean, at this point, I would be open to it. Shoot, I mean, I would be open to it. At least hear the candidates out.
I'm listening.
Hear them out. At least hear what they represent and what they plan to do. Because let's be real, it's been chaotic. I think we probably done seen more government shutdowns, and that's not just on the president, than we have in previous years over the last 10, 15 years. There's been more government shutdowns probably than ever. Like, that's alarming and concerning. So at this point, I'm open to hearing a third party. I'm open to hearing their stance, their viewpoints, and why they believe what they believe, and why they come up with the plan that they're gonna come up with. I mean, at this point, you got to be a little open. You know what I'm saying?
What you gonna do different? But like, honestly, though, as we talk about the president, it can go for days, but I think it might be just like, do we need a shift in the whole thing? Like, everybody, like our House of Representatives, our Senate, like, because like it just seems like it's a battle between two groups of people that ain't getting nowhere. So like, we put one thing in, y'all voted down over there. Like, what are we doing here? We paying y'all to battle back and forth like some type of chess game?
I was going to say, we paying y'all to bicker. That's basically we paying y'all to bicker. Yeah, we paying y'all to basically go, just no matter what it is. It's like games, really.
Yeah.
Red and the blue.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, I'm going against you. That's as simple as that.
Amazing.
And the thing with the third party, A third party would be great. A third person that will come in and actually have values and actually, follow what they say they're gonna do. But then it's, how black people always say, I feel like my vote's wasted. Yeah. I would feel like my vote will be wasted because that third party's not gonna win. That third person ain't gonna outdo.
We need that third party to have a movement. Like if all right, I'm gonna go back to what I know because this is when I was voting. When Obama came around, it was like a movement. Like everybody felt necessary to go out and cast their vote for him. You feel me? People that I knew. So we need a third party to have like influence like that. Now I know that means a lot of money, and I know that might be a problem for the third party, depending on who it is. But I'm pretty sure somebody could come up with some funds, and when they get to go, and people go get behind it. Especially in this day and age with socials and stuff, social media, you can reach people unlike you did before. It was harder for that third party to get on TV as much. Now they can reach people. So I don't know. I think we just don't go back and forth. If he get back in office, what's really gonna change? What changed when Trump was in office the first time for you?
Yeah, not much. You're right. You're right. I would love to see it. I don't know if it's gonna happen. On another serious note, did y'all know that the Russia and Ukraine war was still going on?
Yes.
Yeah.
We literally have two wars going on at the same time. Not to mention our own political war we were just talking about. So that's a political war. But we got two major wars that people are dying going on at the same time. And then we have political wars that's going on in our own country. So it's a little crazy in the world right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of crazy.
It's a lot of crazy because it's another war that might be coming with Venezuela trying to take over another country. So,
oh wow, okay.
We jumping in stuff.
That we shouldn't.
I don't know. Like I ain't get deep into the Middle East war right now, but I pay more attention to the Ukraine thing. I've always felt like they did need our help, so like I'm actually for like the funding and stuff sent to Ukraine. I'm cool with that. Personally, I feel like Russia's a problem for the whole world. So, how we just gonna let them do that? So that's my opinion. I don't want no Russian hackers coming at me, draining my bank account. You should be practicing though, because ain't nothing in there.
You're just going around the scoop for nothing. You digging for gold, ain't gonna come back with nothing but cotton. Yeah. Come back with lint. The reason I asked it like that is because you see you hear a lot about the Palestine war, but I think people forget that the Ukraine and Russia war is still ongoing. When people thought that the Ukraine was going to take a loss within the first couple of months.
Yeah, they're still fighting because we holding them up. Us and other countries, European countries and stuff like that. We propping them up a little bit, right? But if we don't keep doing that, then it is probably gonna be over.
At some point they will fall, but especially when the way you worded it, it's like I think sometimes as Americans we get in our own bubble that we forget what's going on around us. But it's legit two wars that we're a part of in one way or another. And it's a current tide.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it's a scary situation. Do you think so, Ash?
I mean, it really is. It really is. It lets you know what time it is out here. Like, people got to start paying attention. People got to stop being in la la land and thinking everything is, roses, bed of roses. I mean, it's glad to have an optimism, but there's real wars going on here. And right now, it doesn't pose as much of a threat to us in the U.S., but at the same time, it affects everything that we do going forward, right? So I think that it is a little bit scary, and I think that people need to really be paying attention, right? Getting themselves together and understand that there's some serious stuff going on around us. Even if it ain't in the U.S., there's some serious stuff going on, and you got to always remember that our government has some hand in something most of the time. So it's just like you got to pay attention. Like you got to, stay on guard. I mean, let's not forget, we shot down those balloons now. I mean, let's keep, you got to pay attention. So it is a little scary, right? I think so. I think it's time for people to really wake up and start really paying attention to the things that are more important than just your everyday,
You brought up the balloons. It's a good question. It's a segue. We not feel like it's a problem that the balloons got from one side of the country to the other side of the country before it got shot down?
I mean, I feel like there is a reason for that. Everything is strategic. Don't sleep. Everything is strategic. I think that there's a reason for that. I feel like there's always a reason for that. And when you start dealing with the media, I mean, come on, you gotta, I have a hard time believing that we as Americans didn't know a lot sooner, that our government didn't know. And I'm sure that there was some strategy as it relates to that. And I'm sure there was some media ploy as it relates to that too. That's just my thoughts though. One person's opinion. One person's opinion.
So you believe the government allowed this to happen for a reason?
Yes. I don't think we got caught slipping. In this situation, I don't think we got caught slipping. I mean, I'm not saying we don't be sleep sometimes, but I feel like there's more to that story. It just don't sound right to me, It don't sound right.
It don't. It didn't seem like a real. I never really understood. Not gonna say understood. I never really took it as serious because China is this great, powerful country. I don't think they really just sending a balloon to fly across America's shores. If they really wanted to spy, I feel like they would have put forth a little more effort than some hot air balloon. Will you think I'm tripping or?
Yeah, I mean, like so they don't really need to spy that way, right? There was a story, maybe last year, maybe during this year, if not 2021. I believe it's yeah. So they had like a police department in New York City. Chinese police department in New York City. Look it up. It existed. So they don't need to do that. The balloon was like she said, maybe just kind of like, hey, look at this, some crazy media shit. Enough people caught the balloon going past, and it just flooded the airways. But Chinese, if they whatever they want to do over here, they get over here. It's not an issue. So I don't know, like spying is real, like it's all that shit's real. So they got information that they need, just like we do. We do the same thing. We get over there, we spy, we do our thing all around the country and get information that we need. It's a crazy game, man. But I'm more worried about that caravan of people coming towards the U.S. and how do we handle that? How do you feel about letting immigrants into the country in those type of numbers?
The problem is we have always been that country, and it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to stop it now. We have always been this, this open. I won't say it's open door because they got to go through some things to get here, but it's really like an open. It's we are the land of the free. We are the land of promise. We are the land of if you work hard, you become something. Even though we could tell from just the African American community, that's not always the case. We got to work twice or three times as hard, or two times or three times as harder to get anywhere. So, it's kind of hard. I think we should put maybe some more restrictions. No, maybe we should put more restrictions on immigrants coming in as easily as they do. But at the same time, we've been doing it for so long. This country is built off immigrants.
Yeah, I'm so torn on the immigrants coming. I know that that many people can really affect like the way a city operates and stuff like that, but I don't necessarily. I feel like why can't they come? Like you said, like this is the land of the immigrant. Like this like truly should be a slogan, like because everybody here ain't from here, besides the natives.
Yep.
Those are the only people who could and whoever else they can trace back their roots or whatever. That's another conversation. But yeah, I feel like you should maybe, I don't know. I'm really torn. That's a lot of people. They said some days they encounter more than 10,000 people crossing the border.
It's a lot of people.
It's a lot of folks. You know, I don't know. I want to give them people places to refuge. Like you said, this is the land of opportunities. This is, you come here and you can go from nothing to something. And, it's true for everybody, harder for some. But, how do we take on all that? What does that do to our system? This is a system, even if it's broken, nonetheless, it's a system.
Yeah, because like you said, it does turn you, it makes you torn because those countries that these people are trying to escape from or they're trying to get away from.
Horrible.
And they go, some of these places, they don't, Flint, at least Flint have running water. You know what I'm saying? These places, they got to go find water. They got to go 3 and 4 villages over just to get some water to drink, let alone bathe in. I'm not saying that Flint's problem is not a serious problem. It is. Shouldn't be like that in America. But at the same time, it takes one wrong move with letting the immigrant in, and next thing you know, you're looking at another terrorist attack. Like you said, China they have a whole police department in New York. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The wrong move could do big damage to this country as a whole.
But they say, it's crazy to me when I was listening to the story. They said you'd be surprised though because it isn't just like South American immigrants. Like that's not the only issue we're facing. Like there's from other countries where so I don't know. It's a lot to deal with. But hey, that's what you do when you in power. So I guess that's what we paying them for, and I ain't even dealing with this shit.
Yeah, what you said. So we're gonna shift away from the more serious things to let's talk about some sports. 2 sports things that I meant to ask y'all. I want to ask y'all about, and it's 2 people in particular. One is Draymond Green. The man has been hitting and swinging at people and stomping on people's chests all year. He'd have had this NBA season. He'd have had 3 incidents, and we just now, he's suspended now indefinitely. We don't even know when he's coming back. Draymond Green. Man, what's your thoughts on Draymond Green and all his actions? His actions, not the player. We're gonna talk about his actions.
I think he's playing in a different era, and I think he's got to be careful because obviously it's not landed. He's gotten some serious consequences because of his actions, and he's playing in a different time and a different era, and I think that he's got to be smarter than that. I think that is unfortunate, but his actions have led to the consequences he has received. I think honestly he's probably a really, really great guy, but I think he lets his emotions on the court get the best of him, and unfortunately, has landed him suspended indefinitely. And it's hard because obviously nobody else in the league is doing the stuff that he's doing. So he's playing, but I will say he's playing in a different era and a different time. And now some stuff that he's done has been extreme. Some stuff he's done has been real extreme. But I'm also saying that there was a time in sports and especially in basketball where that level of aggression or a level of aggression was seen in multiple players. But that's not to excuse his actions at all. But, I do think he's taking it too far with certain things, with certain actions. But there are some other actions of the level of aggression that in the 80s and 90s probably wouldn't have been frowned upon. Let's just be real. Players have been known to play dirty. They've been known to play dirty and throw some shots at one another. Draymond seemed to be very blatant and real out in the open, and I think that's because you don't see that level of aggression in the NBA anymore, period, to me. So it looks extreme and feels extreme. And then when you start turning on your teammates and doing stuff like that, that's taking it too far. That's just my thoughts, though,
I don't think it's because he ain't that good no more. And he knows the team ain't that good no more. So he's over.
Really?
Oh yeah,
That's an interesting perspective.
I don't. So let's be real. Draymond, he still plays great defense, but and he got the mental, but he's a step slower. So he knows that, and he can look at Clay, and yeah, Clay can still give you 25 here and there. But a lot of times Clay ain't gonna give you that, and then Clay ain't the same defender. So he's seen Andre Iguodala has gone on and retired, and him, Draymond, and it was them four, and Steph is still balling. So he still sees Steph, rising and going up, and him and Clay, and then like I said, Andre Iguodala gone. And they play is slowly declining, and they not giving Steph the help that he needs. He also sees Wiggins not playing because Wiggins is supposed to be the guy. In all honesty, Wiggins is supposed to be the number 2 at this point because of Draymond and Clay's age. But Wiggins ain't even been doing that. Wiggins ain't been right since whatever happened. There's a lot of rumors about what happened, why he had to sit out. Don't know. I ain't gonna speculate. Whatever happened. And he ain't been the same since. And I feel like Draymond sees that. Well, what's your thoughts on Draymond? He stepped on somebody's chest in the game. I just want to make sure we point that out. In the 2000s, like Ashley said, in the 80s, that was cool. 90s, early 90s, probably late 90s, that was cool. In the 2000s, they ain't doing that no more.
Early 2000s. You can get away with it early 2000s. Like 2000 to 2003.
Yeah.
Before the whole Detroit situation, Detroit and the Indiana whole thing went down. Right? That was then. They want to take that violence out of the game. Draymond, loose cannon. Sorry. It's the easiest way. The first, like, you know how that game they play where you first thing come to your mind, just say it.
Mm-hmm.
Loose cannon. Like that's the only way my mind describes it. On the court, now off the court, like you said, that ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm pretty sure he's a wonderful human being. But he gets a little loose on the court, man, and it makes you question. Is he, like you said, is he really on that level anymore? Is that the reason why my man ain't playing what seems to be the way he knows to play? I never thought that he was really that great. I thought he was good, and I thought he played perfect in his role. So, but I thought that maybe it was because of where he was that made him what he was. I felt that if he went somewhere else, then he wouldn't really be that. So I don't know if it's mostly a decline in the game or if it's just like, hey, I just an angry individual on the court. I'm rough. I'm tough. Maybe that's the persona he wants to create for himself.
Yeah, I think you're right. I will agree with that. About him being anywhere else, I think he'll still be good, but I don't think he'd be as valuable as he is now because his mental is still going to be the same. It's easier for him because he's had Clay and Steph. He had the greatest shooting backcourt of all time. He don't have to shoot. All he got to do is play defense and get them the ball. Set incredible picks. That's all he had to have to do. And then this other sports story, I want to ask y'all, who do y'all think had the worst year? Zion Williamson or Ja Morant? We know Zion had he got his
situationship.
The situationship got exposed. On top of he already had a relationship once he announced that he was having a baby. And also, let's not leave out the fact that he don't play. He don't basically ever play. This is probably the most he's ever played, and he's year 5? Yeah. Compared to Ja Morant, who can't seem to stay out of his own way this past year.
Right.
With gun incident, with the gun incident, the stuff that happened at the mall, the jumping of the kid, to even just yesterday or the day before, he's on the basketball court after he was celebrating, he was shooting guns in her. Of all, you should know. You just served the 25-game sentence. You should know it's something you shouldn't be doing. But who do y'all think had the worst year?
Ja. Just like, what's his name? Zion didn't. I mean, besides like the money he lost for not meeting the clause in his contract, didn't lose much money. You know, that's big with you now. He got a lot of time to make it back. Zion was more of a personal type thing. Everybody could just sit back and kind of key at him a little bit. But John Morant was something that hurt his overall like character.
Okay. Ashley, what do you think?
I'm gonna go with Morant as well. I'll be honest with you. I ain't heard. This is one of those the Zion situation. I ain't really. I don't know. I guess I didn't. I mean, it was out there, but it was to me. It's a typical. To me, it's a typical story. But now Morant, that's a whole different ball game because they're talking about violence, right? Anytime you start talking about guns and stuff like that, you're talking about violence, and so I think that puts a person in a totally different light. And not that he can't bounce back from it because he's starting to try to, but even now he can't do what he did after that game, right? That was just like last couple of weeks, right?
It was a couple days ago,
Yeah. I mean, so for me, I'm gonna agree. I think that he's by far had the worst year. I feel like Zion's situation, it's bad, but I also kind of get the typical story vibes, right? Like it's it won't be the first. He's not the first, and he's probably not going to be the last.
Yeah, no.
But with Zion, with Morant, it's a little bit different to me. I think when you start getting into the violent aspects, the gun stuff, and in your background, those types of things do play a lot worse. And I feel like you was hearing that everywhere. With Zion, it was kind of one of those things where, I know it was very publicized and it was very bad and all that good stuff, but I just don't see it as the same. I think it's a typical story, unfortunately. That's just my perspective.
So, I think if you couple the Zion with the fact that he doesn't play, at least Ja, you know what Ja gonna go out there and do for you on the court. Zion doesn't even give you the on the court, and he also had the embarrassing situation, and he also has the situation where they telling him, "Hey, you got to lose weight, you got to diet this way, you got to do it that way," and he's just bluntly not listening to them, ignoring what they're asking him to do.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, on the health side,
I think the Ja could be fixed. I think Ja just okay. Hey. Stop. You said, okay, real quick, you said the Zion situation is like typical story. The Ja, to me, is the same typical story because it's a dude that didn't grow up in the environment trying to portray an environment that he did not grow up in. And he feels like you have to live that vibe. You have to give off that vibe. I feel like the Ja situation, he could get his head on right. The Zion situation is, not only do you got to get your head on right, you also got to get your body right to be on the court right, which is what they're paying you to do.
Yeah, but I look at that and I say that's no different than any other athlete out there that those conversations are happening for. So the sports aspect of it is a part of the game. You got to get your body right, period. But the fact that you can say he's been in the league 5 years and he's barely played because of his injuries, that's a whole separate issue to me. That's him not being motivated to do what needs to be done. You done reached this level and you ain't still hungry for it. You're not still hungry. You got to be willing to put in the work. Like the workouts, all the plans. That's a part of you being an athlete. So for me, it ain't worse. It's a choice that he's making. That's the way I look at that as far as his health and his body is concerned. But even before the embarrassing situation, you wasn't even trying to put in that work. So I guess I feel like he's kind of washed up in the mix because, you had an embarrassing situation. That's probably the only thing that made you relevant. That's my perspective. That's the only thing that's kind of made him relevant. And even though it was a bad situation, you weren't performing before. So, what are we talking about? Whereas John been getting in trouble outside of the court, which other athletes have. We can name them, right? Especially in the NBA, that's gotten in some trouble outside of that. But when they got on the court, they performed. He ain't doing neither. I think it's worse because if Morant if he don't fix it, his outside situation, it will end his career forever. Zion, to me, I mean, he still got a career, what's left of it, but it was kind of dwindling before that. That's just, I mean, yeah. I feel like Morant has a lot more to lose. That's just where I'm at.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I do. That is a good point. Zion, the situation made him relevant again.
Facts.
Because the only conversation was he don't play. That was it. It was just he don't play. He can't stay healthy long enough to play. It was always a what if with him. As a word, with Ja, you know what it is.
He was at the epitome of his career. He was doing big things, and then here you are getting in this trouble outside of this that could be career ending. He's bounced back, but even now he still has to work on his image, right? Because he just did something that somebody else probably could do, and it wouldn't be so bad. But because of his, recent history, like he's just got to get his image together because it could be career ending. I mean, seriously.
Right.
No,
it could be career ending for him. Zion can keep moseying on along for another couple of years, probably. I mean, 5 years is a long time, Q. I'm just saying. That's a long time.
The Heat's on Zion, though. The Flames to him. Like I said, he lost money. And, people starting to want to see some results. And if not, then they're going to have to move you around.
All right, so look, hip hop turned 50 this year. We're gonna move off. We're gonna move from the sports. We're gonna move into the music. Hip hop turned 50 in this year, but before we go into hip hop turning 50, Will, I have a question to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you a couple songs, and you tell me which grouping is better. You ready?
Okay. This is about to be funny right here. I feel like I know where you're going with this, Q, but go ahead. Go ahead.
She knows where I'm going with this. So I will give you Bow Wow and Omarion, Let Me Hold You. And Luther Vandross. Now I can't think of the name of the song. What's the name of the song?
I don't know. This is what you get for trying to be funny on this pod, though.
I just had to ask. Hold on, Will. I gotta find the song. But it's Luther Vandross. But the other song is Michael Jackson, Human Nature. Is it Human Nature?
Or you were doing the remake, which was
it was SWV. Okay. I got SWV right there in Michael Jackson, Human Nature. I found the paper actually. And then Bow Wow and Omarion, Let Me Hold You, and Luther Vandross, the Let Me Hold You song as well. So
I gotta pick out all those songs.
No. So you put Luther Vandross, his song, and then Bow Wow and Omarion song. They together. Let's like a WWE tag team match, right?
Okay.
You take those two songs, and then you take the Michael Jackson Human Nature and SWV right there. Which grouping of songs do you think will win?
Be careful with your choice here now, Will.
Man, I'm gonna lean towards. I'm just go ahead and say it. I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna try to change my mind here. I'm gonna go with Michael Jackson just because it's Michael Jackson. He's a part of it. It's gonna win.
Thank you, Will. Thank you, Will.
That's true.
Thank you, Will.
It's not true.
That's what you get for trying to be funny on this pod, though. I try to tell you, man. Michael is the greatest, though. Like, why do you you can't?
I never argue that. I never said Michael wasn't the greatest. My only point is I feel like, personally, the Luther song and the Bow Wow song is better if you put them together than the Michael Jackson and the SWV song. That was my only point.
I mean, well, hey, Will has spoken. That's all I'm gonna say. Will has spoken. He spoke. That's it, Q. Will has spoken. I'm not even. What's the next subject line here? When we go 50, hip hop gonna turn 50. We're gonna leave it there.
When hip hop turned 50, like I don't really want to talk about it now because Will went up against ticked the wrong choice, and it's okay.
But I mean, the reason I do is because if Michael Jackson's a part of something, it wins. Like you could have said, Michael Jackson with something else that used some of Michael Jackson's voice or beat or anything, rhythm, and it was gonna win. It didn't matter. You could have put another group up against him, and he was gonna win. Only person that could have possibly beat him would have been himself. Like two different groups that both feature Michael. He's not losing, bro. Like it's just what it is.
I just don't see Michael in that light.
First of all, you don't, but the world does, yo. You don't, but the world does. This man made hits after hits after hits. And when you really dissect it, he was super smart and extremely strategic about all of his music videos, everything, Q. You just need to give a man respect. You gotta give him respect, yo. Put some respect on his name, yo.
Little kids are still falling in love with Michael Jackson to this day, and he's gone.
And it's 2023 on our way to 24, and like I don't understand why this is even an argument for Q. But you know, hey, he's entitled to his opinion.
I agree with everything you said about Michael. I just think again those songs are better. Let's just, if you want to call it space, right? The SWV song. I've said it then and I said now. It's way of Michael Dale. Because the song is good, but it ain't as good as the other two. And Human Nature is not, but if I think Michael Jackson, it's gonna be like 8 songs I get to before I get to Human Nature.
I mean, there's definitely songs that he has that's better than that one. But what Will said, when you put Michael in a category, come on, man, it's not even it's a no-brainer. Like I just don't understand. Let's go back to hip. It's not even a question. You can't put Michael in any equation, truthfully, and he not win. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. But hip hop turns 50. Let's go. Hip hop turns 50. Q.
What does hip hop mean to y'all? Actually, what does hip hop mean to you?
Man, it's everything, man. It's a culture. I love the fact that it is a segment of our culture. You know, it's so many things that we've done in music and especially hip hop. And I think that to see the dynamics of how hip hop has changed over the years, it is a segment of music that is a representation of who we are. And I think that's not the full totality, right? Because we have a lot of other genres of music that we do. But I definitely think that hip hop came along at a critical time for us as a culture, and I think that it brought a lot of joy. I think it brought a lot of realism. I think it brought a lot of reality to some of our culture's experiences. That's not everybody, but I think it. You know, I mean, it allowed us to express ourselves in different ways, and especially when you start off with the era, of breakdance and everything, and how hip hop has just transcended. And so, you know, for me, it is a portion of a representation of a culture, of us having a good time, or of us talking about our struggles as well. And it's amazing, I think, to see where it is today and all the careers that have come out of it. That's where I would say.
Yeah. What does hip hop mean to you?
Hip hop means a lot. It helped make me who I am, just like some of my attitudes towards some things, you know, the hustling nature, you know, you learn that through music, you know, listening to guys talk about, you know, coming up from nothing and making something out of themselves. Hip hop means, you know, everything, I guess. When you think about it, everything we do has a little hip hop in it, you know, from the way we talk to each other. We use words and slogans and phrases that we hear in hip hop, you know. It's so deeply rooted in who we are, you know, and for some of us, deeper than others, you know. Some people, that's all they know. It's to live the lifestyle they hear in that music, you know, live the lifestyle they see in the videos. It's changed the lives of countless people, you know, and not even on a financial basis, just, you know, touching them and motivating them in times when they needed that motivation, you know. So yeah, hip hop means a lot. And I'm pretty sure for everyone it means something different. But hip hop is everything, you know. But you gotta you got to know that you have to thank all the other genres for what we have in hip hop.
True, because it all is a combination of different genres that came up to hip hop. I feel like hip hop really did give a voice to the voiceless. It gave a voice to people who didn't know how to express themselves or didn't want to express themselves in the ways in which that the common people. Well, I ain't gonna say common people, but the other people did or allowed. I think it gives you an identity. I think hip hop gave me an identity, like you said. Like you said, for you, Will, it taught me so many things about just life in general. A lot of my game, a lot of the way I think, a lot of the way I move comes from listening to hip hop and applying it to my lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And it's a motivating factor as well. It motivates you. You listen to hip hop music, and it motivates you in a different way that a jazz song could, or a rock song could. Just for me personally, only genre of music that motivates me that way is in a gospel music, and it's gospel. But even that, it hits it differently. You know what I'm saying? So
soul music affects me as hard as hip hop. Like listening to the old soul, one song I can listen to every time, and every time I listen to it, I just get a feeling. That's Lean on Me.
It's a good one.
Every time I listen to that song, I just get a feeling, So yeah, and when music does that to you, then you know that it's great and it's timeless.
Do y'all remember y'all first hip hop CD that you bought or that you listened to?
Oh man,
I remember the first one I listened to was either Salt and Pepper or it was a Tupac CD that my sister had. So them was the first ones I listened to. I remember. I can't remember the first hip hop album I got, but I want to say it was a T.I.
album. Oh man,
I want to say the first one I bought with my own money when I worked at Kmart. I want to say it was a T.I. album.
Oh yeah, so like my first probably that I listened to of like maybe someone else's or something. Crazy thing is I'm not that old. When I say this, I'm not that old. It wasn't a CD, it was a tape. Yeah, you can crack up some laugh if you want to. Ashley know what I mean. She listens to some tapes.
I'm gonna get to my next. I ain't even. I'm laughing, but tapes. I know what you're saying. Well, yeah, tapes were still around, and
it was probably a No Limit tape.
So,
as far as I owned, it was probably a No Limit tape. Yeah, I don't know which one first one I listened to. I had a lot of older siblings, so
that's where math came from. But I feel like my tapes was the tapes that I remember my sister having, which I could be wrong. I'm gonna ask her. They was more R&B tapes. I remember the hip hop albums. I don't remember hip hop tapes. I remember R&B tapes.
Yeah.
So, I don't know that I remember the first one. I can't necessarily put it into perspective necessarily the first one. I can tell you that yes, absolutely, I grew up on No Limit. So Master P was definitely playing in my house.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Ice Cream Man. That album.
I also, I got a little bit of an old soul myself, so I can go back to, I discovered a JJ Fad CD. And where there was female rappers, right? And so one of their songs is Supersonic. And so that takes it back. Back then, I can remember watching movies like Crush Groove, which is a movie based around hip hop itself and breakdancing. I listened to Curtis Blow growing up in the house, so I don't know, I've listened to a lot of stuff growing up. Music was always being played in my house, or played with my family. So I mean, even to the point where, I listened to Queen Latifah back then, right? Like rapping. And so, it was just, I don't know. With hip hop, it goes a long way back. See, I'm bringing up old people, Curtis Blow, you start taking that back to original hip hop. Obviously, Run DMC played in my house. So I can't tell you, I don't know what the first one was I heard, but I can tell you all the different ones that I've heard over the years, and in my home, especially being a young kid, where music was being played in my house. And I mean, and that's the hip hop side of it, but I mean, I could even go back to some oldies but goodies. So like I got that exposure of older music in general, but definitely even hip hop as a whole. So I mean, you know, I love having these conversations because like it's funny when I meet younger kids that are like middle school, high school, and they have no clue, right? But some of the people I'm naming, I had no clue about either. But like my family exposed me to it, right? So it's like, but it's a part of our culture. So like, how you not expose your kids to the oldies but goodies? How you the hip hop, the old school hip hop, how breakdancing and even to the extent of gospel? How do you not expose your kids? You know, that's just me. So I have every intent when I have kids to expose them to these genres of music, and you know, because it's all a part of the culture. But anyways, that's where I'm at.
You know, sometimes my son discovered Eminem, and he was so excited about Eminem, and to me, I'm like, that's just Eminem. But I grew up on Eminem. He heard Eminem rap on Rap God. He was just amazed by how fast he rapped, and we was at dinner, and me and Ray, me and my sister, I was like, well, I think Twista raps faster than him. And he's like, who's Twista? And then now we had to go and listen to a Twister song so he can
right. But see, to me, you should already be teaching him like that because you're a music guy, right? Like you gotta yes. When I have children, my kids are gonna know. They're gonna know the culture. They got to. It's a part of it's a part of it. But he's fascinated with Eminem, but he don't know all the people that came before him. Like you gotta, I just
But you said I'm a music guy.
Thing about music, you got so much time to learn. You go back now and listen to some stuff and be like, oh man, I didn't realize he was in that group.
Yep.
That's true. It does. But it's like I appreciate.
Some people don't even know to tell you where Charlie Wilson came from.
Well, a lot of people don't. But actually, my brother and I were just talking about that the other day. We was listening to his group, and a lot of people don't know. Like you got to know he was in a whole group all these years ago. I mean, so yeah. It's to me, I get joy thinking about that type of stuff, especially the music, because the music is a part of me, a part of the culture. It's a part of who I am. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to say, it's a part of what makes me me. But you said I was a music guy. That's crazy. I listen to music now, but I still listen to my stuff. I listen to the new stuff here and there, but it doesn't hit the same for me. But I guess.
Well, I think that's a part of us aging.
I was going to say, our parents probably listen to our stuff with like, you cut that off. It goes. They listen to what they.
Not my mama. She heard our rap and she liked the Master P. She listened to Lil Wayne and stuff like that because it was quality. I don't care what you say. This new crap is crap. People say, "Oh, you just."
I'm gonna say my mama listens to some of it. My daddy listens to some of it, but I'm with you, Q. I have a hard time with some of the new stuff. There's only a couple. So there are a few songs, and I'm gonna tell you, most of the songs that I probably do know at this point, I done probably got it off TikTok because they playing it so much. I don't really listen to I don't even know what they talking about half the time, and I do realize that's age. Like I just don't like it. It's not catchy, and the ones that are catchy are playing on TikTok, literally. I mean,
over and over.
Yep,
over and over, right? They're creating dances to it. That's the type of
you
stuff.
Don't like it. Then you don't like it now because you done heard it so much on TikTok. It done drains you.
Right. Yeah. But I don't really listen to the new stuff either. That's sad to say, but I don't. It's very few new rappers I can give you the name of, male or female. Very few. It's only a handful. Literally a handful. The rest of these folks, I don't know who they are. I wouldn't spend my money. Where's nothing to go see them.
The ones I would give you the names of would probably consider an old rapper. Like I'm still like, oh, that guy, he's new. Nah, he ain't new, bro. He been 5 years. He new to me,
Drake and J. Cole, prime examples. They still doing big numbers in hip hop. But yeah, both of them been out almost 15 years now.
Yeah.
Facts. Yeah, because I got exposed to Drake when I was in college. So yeah, and I've been out of college a good little while now. So yeah, I mean
I got
My
exposed
undergrad anyway, undergrad especially. So yeah, Drake's been he hitting on 15 years. Because you got to think he became popular off his mixtapes before he went mainstream.
Yep.
And it only if you was in the mixtape world underground did you even know anything about him.
I got exposed to Drake from Q. When we worked at Kmart, he kept talking about this guy, and I was like, "Man, who are you talking about?" And I looked and I listened to
But
the
his music was hitting though. It was underground, but it was hitting.
By this time, he had already came on to Cash Money and did the Bedrock song and stuff.
Yeah, I got Drake.
So I got hit to commercials.
Because Tasha heard Drake on the Trey Songz song. And so then that led me to find more Drake. But
I heard Drake on his. You got to go back to his old mixtapes, and he had hits after hits after hits on his mixtape. But when he was underground though, he wasn't mainstream yet.
You know, that's Drake. Like you said, Drake's been around for a while.
For a good little while, he's just now seeing the true fruits of his labor at this point. True fruit.
Now he can relax. But year in review. The year is over. Any highlights? Anything y'all want to say about the year? Any positive message y'all want to relay?
Well, I will say this. Football star, who got injured at the beginning in January of this year. I will say that. To see people kind of come together, that was a positive moment. I know some people had some negative things to say or whatever. But I mean, honestly, man, and all the chaos that we see in the world, it was nice to see people kind of coming together for the Bills player, Damar Hamlin. I think that is a highlight, and it happened so early on in the year. You think it's another year, but it happened in January. But to see people across the country, wanting to see him get better, that's a breath of fresh air that there is some hope in the world. There is some love for people, commonality amongst people. There were some naysayers, but I mean, and the fact that literally that was a miracle, period, point blank. I don't care what nobody say. That was a miracle that he survived that and the medical team worked and did what they could do. So I would say that was a highlight. It was a sad situation, but to see how many people across the globe kind of came together, that was a blessing. And I think that's, when you see a miracle like that, and somebody survive a situation like that, that's amazing. So I just wanted to highlight that personally. But
no, that is outstanding situation.
Yeah, that was wonderful to see him recover like that. But I'm honestly, this has been a year for me. It's been a crazy year. But outside of that, it's been a crazy year just watching, and I kind of enjoyed the ratchetness of the year. Honestly, and some of the greatest moments of the year have, been on the ratchetness. I'm going to lean on that Montgomery brawl and say, man, that was one of my favorite. Seeing Ashanti and Nelly get back together.
That was cute. That has been cute. I ain't gonna lie, that's been cute. I think everybody's loving their love. I mean, I think people like love, right? So I'm with you on that, Will.
Yeah, people start wearing band-aids on their eyes again and shit. But it was a lot. The Puff Daddy stuff. The old rock girl having a baby. We got introduced to Pound Town. It's been a crazy year, man, and all I can do is just say, man, I can't wait for the next one, man.
The thing I would say this year is that I made it through this year and I was able to see everything that transpired this year. Like Ashley said, from the Damar Hamlin, see the people coming together, the Montgomery fight, seeing people coming together. This year it happened so much happened in such a short amount of time. But we're thankful to see it. I think that's my biggest takeaway is that I think I can see all this. I can see Jada Pinkett doing all these interviews and saying all these crazy things about just everything, not even just Will, about everything. To see Blueface and Krishan go back and forth and back and forth.
That's a crazy situation.
Yo, to see.
And don't forget the captain. You're off with the Cardi B and Offset situation.
I was going to say, to see Offset fumble the bag. You know what I mean? Like, it's been a year. It's also been a year of fumbling the bag. Because there's a lot of dudes that fumble the bag. Cardi fumbled Meg. Like you said, Offset and Cardi. Hell, I was scrolling on Facebook, some other dude, this girl was posting about how her dude was cheating on her with some ugly duckling or gremlin looking chick. Like, it's been a lot of fumbling of the bag towards the end of the year. So I don't know, just to see it all. Just to see it all. But that's just it, and that's all. Man, hey Will, thank you for coming through.
No doubt, man. You know I'm always ready.
Mr. Break Glass himself.
Yeah, you know what's up. Just come and get me. I'm ready.
I already know. Ashley, I appreciate you not only doing this, being a part of 3 of the last 6. You know, I thank you for ending the year strong.
No, I appreciate it. I always like the invites. You know, we gotta talk about this because I might need to be a co-host. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about that offline. We're gonna talk about this offline. But yeah.
Well, you know, we gotta get those. I said I want the bracket challenges that we do. I wanted to do them once a month. I gotta get that on record of doing that once a month. But,
I mean, yeah, you gotta start playing it now for the next 12 months.
I had the movie one, but I pushed it back to do the sample one because I wanted to do the movie one because I feel like we got to do the hood. I ain't gonna say the hood movies, the urban movies. Let me.
Okay. I appreciate you changing that up. The urban movies. Okay.
The black culture movies, the classic. I feel like we have to. At some point. Okay. That on docket. That's gonna be the January one.
Yeah.
All right.
That's gonna be the January. Man, I appreciate y'all. Hold up, another thing presented by Mixed Vibez Media. We ended the year off strong. It's been a good year, man. I was up 62% this year. Numbers went up from like.
That's because me and Ashley made a lot of appearances this year.
Yeah, see, talk about it, Will. Appreciate it. Talk about it, Will.
So I did nothing. Is that what you basically willing down to 2 years?
I mean, no. I think he's justifying why I need a position. That's all. I think he's just, speaking facts. You know.
Yeah, that's it. Let it work.
I get it. I appreciate it. Yeah.
No, congratulations though, Q, for real.
That's real. That's big.
It is big.
I appreciate it. But yeah, we gonna we shall see y'all sometime in January.
Yeah, see you next year.
See you next year.
We'll see y'all because I already got podcasts recorded for January, but they gonna come out. Anyways, yeah, we see y'all later.
All right.